Hello, everybody, and welcome into today's episode of the Top Cut Yu-Gi-Oh podcast. My name is Sunny, and I'm here recording with Caleb. What's going on, dude?
Nothing much at the moment.
I heard that. Well, we are still doing remote recordings. It's a certain amount of being worried about Corona as a whole, and then a certain amount of my son's daycare shut down right now because of possible one of the kids has tested positive, and we won't want to take no chances until my son is showing no symptoms and things like that. So, in the meantime, this either will be our last remote recording or maybe like one more, as long as there's like no symptoms, anything like that, and my son for sure doesn't have it. So,
Oh yeah. I mean, it's been how many days at this point?
today is 5, and he's still like no symptoms at all, full go, all the way.
I mean, he's 4. What do you expect?
True.
A
So,
meteor could fall on him, and as long as you don't react, he would just get back up. Just see me, Daddy, and just keep running.
pretty much, he is at that age where every time he falls, my wife will like, "Ah!" And I'm just like, I look at him like, "You good?" He's like, he look at me and go, "Yeah." I'm like, "All right, that's what I'm talking about."
That's your boy.
Oh man, you good, son? I'm good, Dad. All right.
All right, get back out there. Let's go.
That's it. So we do have a little bit to talk about today. We have some pretty cool stuff. We have an interview with Dillon, who is actually a returning guest to the podcast. Now, the interview is a little weird. This episode today, you'll hear the beginning part of the episode is me and Caleb with our normal episode, with our normal breakdown. And then there were the interview I did with Dillon last night. Caleb, by the time we got back, Caleb was already way asleep. It was like 2 o'clock in the morning or something. Crazy late. So,
So I was not a part of that interview.
which is, it's fine. We went ahead and recorded, and we're just gonna splice the interview in if that's okay with everybody listening. If you have a problem with it, you can come catch these hands.
I mean, I was just gonna pretend like I was there the entire time.
Yeah, Caleb comes in at the end. Wow, that's a great point.
Yeah. All right. So first, to start with, we have some somber news, as the Structure Deck Cyber Strike has been pushed back from October 8th to the 15th. And
What's new at this point?
I know, right? And the 2021 Ten of Ancient Battles has been pushed back from September 17th to October 1st. Problem with that is it's also the weekend Brothers of Legend comes out.
It's also the day of.
Yeah, same day that Brothers of Legend come out. Which I think mom and pop stores are going to have issues with, because they'll have to pick. I'm pretty sure that most of them will have to pick one or the other.
Right.
It's, which is disappointing. Me personally, I would just pick the 10, but that's me personally. I'm also a little biased toward the 10 because I just think the 10's nicer.
The thing is, I really don't know that you've like for sure have a choice here. Like, I think you just even the super smaller pops, like I think you get both of them. They're both so impactful. Brothers of Legend is going to introduce new cards, and the Tin of Memories is you have to have it. It's so important.
Yeah, like just three of the reprints that we're aware of in it are going to be major, with the Nightmare Unicorn, IP Masquerade reprint as alternate arts, and the Chamber Dragon Maid reprint.
No, that's all the gold series.
Oh yeah, that is gold. What am I? I'm having a moment. I am sorry.
No, that's okay. But the Tin of Ancient Memories, I mean, realistically, we can expect the entire Tri-Brigade archetype. We can expect Zeus. We can expect Ice Dragon's Prisons, Triple Tactics Talent, Forbidden Droplet, Shaddoll Schism. You could see the Eldritch cards potentially. You could see what other? There were some other archetypes that were Plunders. You could see up rarities or down rarities on the Plunder deck.
Then they also did pretty much outright state that pretty much the entire at Ignister deck is going to be in there.
Oh, and that's true. Yeah, so you'll also see Ad Ignisters in there with either rarity upgrades or downgrades, depending.
exactly. So
So,
yeah, I mean, both these products are going to be majorly, major products, and they're released on the same day, which is unfortunate.
well, to be fair, there's a pretty good chance that the Brothers of Legend gets pushed back again.
Oh, absolutely. I wouldn't be I wouldn't be surprised if they just pushed it back to the next weekend.
Right, just to spread them out a little bit.
Yeah, yeah, and I'm like, at this point, if they pushed it back literally just to give it a week, spread out the releases a little bit, I'd be perfectly fine with that at this point. But that's
Yeah, I don't know that they've ever had two major releases hitting on the same day like this.
I don't think they have, but also, because that's probably bad business by doing that.
Right.
I'm not a business major. I'm not 100% on that, but
Well, you're cutting into your own um not your own it's like you're cutting into your own sales, right? It's the same reason that we don't release multiple podcasts on the same day, or is the same reason that a lot of YouTubers don't release multiple YouTube videos on the same day, because you're taking away from what you're already doing.
yeah, you're opening a Starbucks across the street from your own Starbucks.
Okay, to be fair, that is a legitimate business practice.
Yes, because in order to go across the street, you'll probably have to go down 2 or 3 blocks.
But even then, um there was a study done about like the frequency of Starbucks and McDonald's, and like why sometimes they can be within like 2 blocks of each other, and they said that it actually makes financially, like, it makes sense for that to be like that. I don't know why quite exactly, but that's what I saw a study at one point that said something about that.
Huh? Weird.
Very.
Anyways, moving on. We now have the entire Beetrooper support, Beetrooper archetype. Yes, Beetrooper Scout Buggy was in fact not a singular card, even though as a singular card he's pretty good.
Yeah, so we've had these actually for like a week or two now,
Yeah,
but it's it's interesting that now we have the actual we know all the cards and we know all the effects, but we've been waiting to do it because we've just had so much other stuff going on. We've had interviews with people, it's had some interviews, stuff like that. And it's just like we haven't had a good time to be able to sit down and do like 30 minutes of card previews and card descriptions, you
yeah.
know?
And then just kind of talking about possible pathways that can be taken with these cards.
Right. So this is
Which
our
I
chance to do a real breakdown on the archetype.
Oh yeah. Speaking of that, I've been really interested in that. I've just kind of looked up like almost all the possible insects you can toss in.
Absolutely. Let's talk about this a little bit. So, the first card that we have to talk about is obviously Beetrooper Scout Buggy, which, as it turns out, no cap, is a really good card. So it's a level 3 wind insect type effect. It's this is just a reminder because we have talked about this before. 1,000 attack, 300 defense. You cannot special summon monsters except insect monsters. Rough. If this card is normal or special summoned, you can special summon one Beetrooper Scout Buggy from your hand, deck, or graveyard, and you can only use this effect once per turn. So this is like an auto include 3 of, because even if you have already used one and pulled out another from your deck, even if you top deck the third one, you can still pull one out of your graveyard. And the locking you into insect monsters is not a big deal because obviously the whole deck is going to be nothing but insects.
Oh yeah, no. If it's a one card into the B Trooper rank 2, which we'll talk about in a minute. Um,
Right.
yeah, I mean on top of that, it can also get you into Inzektor Picofalinia. The who is a link to Inzektor card, but her entire shtick is that she can equip insects to other insects out of the deck.
Right.
Or you could even make the new Shinobi insect Hagakurim, Hagakur. I can never say that. Hagukuremino. Um, who's not great, but it's an option.
Right.
Or you can even overlay Link 2 into Giga Brilliant, and then or Cicada King, and then overlay on top of that the Digital Bug rank 5 because you're
I
locked
mean,
into.
yeah, I mean, it's all just more possibilities.
Oh yeah, and that's just off of B Trooper Scout Buggy by himself.
Yeah.
Uh, let's see. Next up, we have B Trooper Scale Bomber. Fire insect level 3, 1200 attack, 2000 defense. Really beefy, actually, for a level 3. If an insect monster is normal or special summoned to your field, except in the damage step, you can special summon this card from your hand. When a monster your opponent controls activates quick effect, you contribute one insect monster, destroy it. You can only use each effect of a Beetrooper Scale Bomber once per turn. So first off, just based off its base effect, it's an interrupt.
Right.
Just and it's not just tribute. It's just tribute any insect, not just itself. It doesn't have. You could very well tribute off one of your other insects, particularly insect tokens, which is produced by a lot of insect cards.
Yeah.
There's lots of possibilities. Also, it's an extender out of your hand when a insect monster is normal or special summoned.
Which is awesome.
Oh yeah, so like you could very easily like normal summon Beetrooper Scalp Buggy, effect, special summon a new one, and then Scale Bomber comes down.
Right.
Boom, that's an instant link 3 into. Actually, the only insect link 3 is Seraphim Papillon. Who isn't terrible, I don't think. Let me double check. Let's see, Seraphim Papillon. Let me see. 2 monsters, different names, 200 attacks for each counter on it. If it's link summon, place a counter on it for each insect uses link material. Oh, here we go. Quick effect. Remove a counter. Special summon 1 level 4 lower insect from your graveyard.
Pretty good.
Yeah. However, the issue is that you can't do the you can't put the counters and then remove one as special summon immediately. You can only do one or the other per turn, which is annoying.
Right.
Oh well, but it's a possibility.
So the next monster is Beetrooper Sting Lancer, which is a level 7 wind insect effect monster. 2400 attack, 1800 defense. During the main phase, quick effect, you can target one insect monster in your graveyard and one monster in your opponent's graveyard. Special summon this card from your hand, and if you do, place the targeted monsters on the bottom of the decks. If this card is normal or special summoned, you can add one Beetrooper spell or trap from your deck to your hand. You can only use each effective Beetrooper Sting Lancer once per turn.
So yeah. First off, let you recur one of your resources. Like you could very well send back one of your own Scowl Buggies,
Right.
and then you still have another one hand.
Absolutely.
Oh yeah. Another possibility, and then of course your opponent loses something out of their graveyard, which could be kind of a meh, or it could be horrible for them depending upon the deck.
Well, the thing is, it's a quick effect.
That too.
So you can, if your opponent activates Alpha Tribute Benten, you can activate this quick effect, and you can shuffle the Benten back into the deck, and their Benten won't get its effect.
Exactly, and that's just one possibility.
It's like DD Crow, except almost kind of better, because instead of removing the card from play, it straight up shuffles it back into the deck. Against Tri Brigade, this would be brutal.
No, it doesn't shuffle it. It puts it on the bottom.
Yes, that's it.
Yeah. Which is not necessarily better or worse than just shuffling it. But it also eliminates the chance of them drawing that exact card.
Right.
But that's about it. It's not that much better. Now, as far as the searching for a Beetrooper spell or trap, right now we only know of one spell and one trap, and they're both pretty good. We'll get into those in a little bit.
Yeah, so why don't we talk a little bit about the Link 2?
Ah, yes. Beetrooper Armor Horn. Link 2. Arrows are top and bottom. It just points up and down. It's made with any two insects. You cannot special summon monsters except insect monsters. Oh boy, how horrible is that? You can only use each of the following effects of Beetrooper Armor Horn once per turn. During your main phase, you can immediately after this effect resolves, normal summon an insect monster. If this card is in your graveyard, you can banish 3 other insects from your graveyard, special summon this card, but banish it when it leaves the field.
Huh.
So, first off, it's just a double summon. It is a hard once per turn, but it is a double summon for insects. And it can recur itself once. Making Link 3 and Link 4 plays ridiculously easy with this dude.
Right.
Other than that, there's really not much to say about him. He's just, it's just so his effect is just so simple, but it's really easy to see how you can easily abuse that into something great. Speaking of greats and Link 4s, you've got Giant Beetrooper Invincible Atlantis.
Just Atlas.
Yes, Atlas, my bad.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm used to calling him Atlantis. I don't know why.
It's so funny. Probably because he's got a city on his back.
That's got to be it. It's got to be the city on the back. So it's a rank 4. Its arrows are top, bottom, bottom left, bottom right. Fantastic arrows, by the way.
Yeah, that's Appaloosa arrows.
Yeah, exactly. It's made up of 2 or more insect monsters. While this Link Summon card has 3,000 or less attack, its base attack is 3,000, by the way. Your opponent cannot target this card with card effects. Also, it cannot be destroyed by your opponent's card effects. You cannot special monster select insect monsters. You can tribute an insect monster to activate one of these effects. Special summon a Beetrooper monster from your deck, or have him gain 2,000 attack until the end of this turn. You can only use...
This is really good.
Yeah, okay, so first off, just upon summoning him, he's already 3k. Can't be targeted or destroyed by your opponent's card effects.
Which is really good.
Also, only your opponent can't target it. You can.
And then he turns into either an extender or a game ender.
Exactly. Now, granted, if you make him the 5k beat stick, he loses his protections. But at that point, you're going for game. So, and also like I said, he only requires 2 insects. So if you get 2 Link 2 insect monsters, you got him.
Yeah.
Easy.
Which, I mean, it's so easy to just crank out. A Tri-Brigade deck is the perfect example of this just being a playable engine, because if you look at Shureg, it's 2+ Tri-Beasts, so you can just make him, you can just, power up into a rank 3 and then just bloop with an effect monster in a Link 3. It's so easy.
Oh, yeah. Something else you verbal do is, make Armor Horn, right?
Right.
And then make the Insector one effect to equip Armor Horn with a specific insect I'll talk about in a minute, and then you link them both off into Invisible Atlantis. And then the effect of the equip insect special summons a new insect. He pulls out another Beetrooper. You then immediately have another, and then you can immediately activate the effect of Armor Horn to bring itself back. Link 4 into a second Invincible Atlas.
Right.
If you didn't activate the first Armor Horn to bring itself back.
Right.
And that's just me thinking off the top of my head.
It's got a lot of potential. I mean, that's all the monsters, but it's just there's so much potential. And then there's other insect monsters that blend perfectly with this. But let's go and do the spell and the trap, and then we'll do those.
Oh yeah, I have a long list. Very long list.
Yeah, we've been talking about this for over a week now. But the next card is Beetrooper Formation. It's a field spell card, which is amazing for the deck. You can target one Beetrooper monster in your graveyard. Special summon it, but it cannot attack this turn. Also, you lose life points equal to its original... Oh no, it cannot attack this turn. Also, you lose life points equal to its original attack. If a face-up insect monster you control is destroyed by battle or card effect, you can special summon one Beetrooper token, which is an Insect Earth level 3, 1,000 attack, 1,000 defense. You can only use each effect of Beetrooper Formation once per turn. So basically, you activate it, and then once per turn, you can Monster Reborn any Beetrooper monster from your graveyard. Granted, you lose life points equal to his attack, but that's fine because you can go either the Link 4 to end the game. You can go the Link 2. You can go a Scout Buggy and summon back another Scout Buggy from your graveyard. It's so good.
Oh, pay 1,000, get 2 free Scout Buggies?
Yeah. It's So good. Because if Scout Buggy is on normal or special summon, so the card is if you already, it's not even a dead draw like late in the game because it's not even that it starts. It's an extender. So good.
It's a starter and an extender.
No, it's definitely not a starter because you have to already have a Beetrooper in your graveyard to use it. Um,
Well,
or
no, no,
you
no.
have to already be able to get a face-up insect monster on the field.
Oh yeah. The field spell. I thought you meant Scout Buggy. I was like, no, Scout Buggy is an extender and a starter.
Yeah, no. Scout Buggy is
Yeah,
absolutely both, but this
yeah.
specifically
No,
is the field spell is an extender.
oh yeah, a really good one.
Yeah.
Particularly if your face of insect you control is from a battle card effect, you get the token. You can use the token with Scale Bomber to attribute it off or link it off into one of the other ones.
Right. And the Invincible Atlas and the Armor Horn, they don't require two insect effect monsters. They just require two insect monsters. So you can use that token to link up into the Invincible Atlas or anything.
Also, something else I just noticed: this deck is just straight up immune to Contact C.
Yeah, because they're all insects.
Yeah, exactly. Lastly, we have a counter trap:
Oh,
Beetrooper, Fly, and Sting.
just a thought. If you have Beetrooper formation in your hand and any other insect in your hand, any other insect, and then if you have a Scout Buggy engrave, which that setup is not like impossible to conceive, right? Because like let's say you have an insect in your hand and a Scout Buggy engrave, and then you just top deck the field spell. You can activate the field spell, special the Scout Buggy from grave, special a second Scout Buggy from your grave, deck, hand, wherever. Then you can link two into the Armor Horn. Then you can activate the Armor Horn's effect to normal summon the second the extra insect from your hand.
Well, no,
And
because like at that point you haven't even roll summoned yet.
right. I mean it potentially could let you just climb immediately into a link 4.
Yeah, but like let's say for sake of argument, you normal summon Scout Buggy effect, Solemn Strike. Just for sake of argument, and you activate formation, you special about the Beetrooper Scout Buggy effect, special out the new one, make Armor Horn, normal summon your other insect monster. Blah 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 blah.
Yeah. I mean it lets the deck extend, so it's a superior extender. It's so good.
Oh yeah. Anyway, so the counter trap: Beetrooper Fly and Sting. When your opponent activates a monster effect while you control a Beetrooper monster, negate the activation. If you do, destroy it. During the end phase, if this card is in your graveyard and while you control an insect monster with 3,000 or more attack, you can banish an insect monster from your graveyard to reset Beetrooper Fly and Sting. You can only use one Beetrooper Fly and Sting effect per turn and only once that turn.
Right.
So first off, this could stop. Okay, so let's say you set it, pass, comes back to you, and you start going. It can stop your opponent's hand traps, but you'll kind of the only issue is that you'll be kind of getting in this loop to where it's only live on your turn or your opponent's turn, but not both, unless you like set it and go your entire next turn without activating it,
Right.
which is kind of meh. But the fact that it's an near infinitely recurring counter trap that negates any monster effect, pretty good. I could see this easily being a 1 or a 2 of. 2
Yeah.
of at most. I would say 1 because it's searchable with the Sting Lancer.
Yeah, I think it would be a good one of.
Oh yeah. Okay, so now as far as other cards for the deck, like I said, I have a long list. So first off, we have the entire Battle Wasp archetype.
Oh yeah, this is so easily splashable in the Beetrooper deck.
Oh, absolutely. Because their entire shtick, the Battle Wasps, is flooding the field from hand with tuners and non-tuners, and then synchroing into. Let's see, we got a level 5, a level 6, a level 8, and a level 12. This deck can hit 6 and 12, no problem, because let's see, Scale Bomber and Scout Buggy are both level 6, both level 3. My bad. for a total of 6. And the Sting Lancer is level 7. So they can actually hit level 10 pretty easily as well.
Yeah.
Let's see. And that's just, yeah, so the entire Battle Wasps. Let's see. Digital Bug Registrator.
What does that do?
That's what I'm pulling up. Okay. Here we go. Cannot be used to exceed material for an exceed summon except of an insect monster. When you normal summon a level 3 insect monster, you can special summon this card from your hand. Then you can make both this card and that monster level 5 or 7. So he just immediately turns Scout Buggy into a level 5 or 7 insect exceed, which is what the digital bugs are all about. If this card is special summoned from the hand, you can change the battle position of insect monster you control, and then an Nixie monster that was summoned using this card on the field as material gains 1,000 attack and defense. The whole point is you can special summon this card from your hand,
Right.
and you don't have to make you don't have to do the level modulation. That's optional. So really, it's just another level 3 insect extender out of hand. Let's see. Next up is good old classic Kowakimeru Beetle.
Of course.
1 second, pulling him up. During each of your insects, destroy this card unless you send an Iron Core Kowakimeru from your hand to the graveyard or reveal an insect in your hand. Now, here's the point. If a light or dark monster is special summon in attack position, change to defense position. It's not as good as Draco, but it's a level 4 insect with 1900 attack, which is pretty big. That keeps your opponent from being able to declare an attack that turn. The turn they summon a light or a dark monster.
Right.
Not the best, but
It
not
could
the
be a
worst.
tech. It could be a tech card in certain matchups, like in the Dragon Link matchup.
Exactly. Okay, let's see. Next one is Resonance Insect. If this card is sent from the field to the graveyard, key term, sent from field to grave. Doesn't matter how. You can add a level 5 or higher insect type monster from deck to hand. If this card is banished, you can send an insect type monster from deck to graveyard except itself. So you make Insector Pycophilinia, the rank 2, the link 2, and her effect is that you can equip is that you target one of your other insects and you equip it with an insect monster from your deck. So you equip Armor Horn with Resonant Insect, link 4 into Atlas, effective Resonant Insect, because it was sent from field to grave to search to your hand the Sting Lancer, the level 7.
Right.
So yeah, that's just one of the things it can search. You can also search. Actually, that's the only thing I can think of that you can search with it. Well, you could search Insect Queen or Metamorphized Insect Queen, but it's not that great. Primarily, it's just another way for you to search out the level 7.
Yeah. But I mean, even having those ways to extend and search out other cards, I mean, it all helps.
Yeah. Let's see. Next up, we got the Primitive Butterfly, level 5. If you control no monsters, you can special summon this card from your hand. That's all I care about. Is it's an insect that can you special summon out of your hand. Once per turn, you can increase the level of all insect-type monsters you currently control by 1. Again, it's just and also it's a searchable target off of Resonance Insect. So if your opponent nibs you and then you get Resonant Insect effect off, you can search for Primitive Butterfly to just immediately special summon it, and then just keep going.
Interesting.
Oh yeah.
Well, do you have any more?
Oh yeah. There's one other one I'll mention. Well, real quick, Metamorphized Insect Queen. It's real easy to make with
Is that Cocoon of Ultra Evolution or?
yes, Cocoon of Ultra Evolution with either Insector Pycophilinia or Parasite Paranoid. So Pycophilinia, you can equip something with the Resonant Insect, and then immediately use Cocoon of Ultra Evolution to pull out the Ultimate Insect, Metamorphized Insect Queen, but then also get the search off of Resonance Insect.
Right.
Or you can use Parasite Paranoid, equip it to your opponent's monster, it's now an insect, and then Cocoon of Ultra Evolution that monster away. And get your metamorphosized insect.
Right.
Multiplication of Ants is another card that's very powerful in this deck. It's
very old.
Very old. We're talking that was a Weevil card. So you tribute an insect, and then you get 2 ant tokens.
Interesting.
So you can tribute a Beetrooper token and get 2, and turn 1 token into 2. Oh yeah. Danger Mothman is a possibility for this. The good old classic Pinch Hopper is meh. It's a thing. Verdant Sanctuary, Final Gesture,
Verdant Sanctuary. Make sure you run Terraforming if you run that card.
Exactly. That being said,
wait. Do you realize that that's not a field spell?
What, Verdant Sanctuary?
Yeah.
That it was. It sounds like one.
It is absolutely not a field spell. It sounds so much like a field spell, though, that there was an episode of the Progression series where Gage ran 2 Verdant Sanctuary and ran Terraforming, and it wasn't a field spell. And he still gets roasted for it to this day. So now, anytime the card Verdant Sanctuary comes up, everybody says, hey, don't forget about if you run Verdant Sanctuary, run Terraforming.
I didn't know that. You got me. I also made this list like a week ago.
Yeah, and haven't looked at the cards since.
Pretty much. So Verdant Sanctuary is a spell that when a face-up insect monster shows a battle or card effect, not just a face-up insect monster, its controller can add an insect monster with the same level as destroyed monster from their deck to their hand. It's just more, recurability. Something else I also went through to see if there were any instant fusion targets that are insect. There is a grand
total what about ready fusion targets?
There's a grand total of 1 insect fusion.
Okay.
Quaggar Hercules, who is a level 6 fusion. He is not an instant target fusion. He's not an instant fusion target, but he is a ready fusion target because that can get level 6s.
Is he a vanilla?
He's a vanilla.
Nice.
Let's see. Other silly cards you can make. You can actually make Underground Arachnid.
Interesting.
Oh yeah. Classic dark synchro from back in the day.
Yeah. Well, I think that about wraps up the Beetrooper support, though, huh?
Oh yeah. Like that's just some stuff I've gotten from literally just going onto the database itself and just typing in insect search and just flipping through the pages.
Right. I think now we can go ahead and we're gonna roll a quick ad break before we get into our interview with Dillon, and then when we come back from the interview with Dillon, we're gonna go ahead and wrap up the show. Sound good?
Oh yeah, sounds like a plan.
All right, go ahead. Hey everyone, and welcome in to this interview. We are here with Dillon from Team Dark Arm Dealings.
What up?
Well, Dillon, why don't you tell us a little bit about what happened today and what you did today?
Oh, we had the tournament in Shreveport at Steel Fox Games. They had a Dawn of Majesty sneak peek / return to organized play trophy tournament.
Right.
Really wanted one of those trophies. Lost out in top 8.
You did better than I did, bud.
It was a good time, though.
Perfect. So we wanted to take a few minutes to talk with Dillon about today's tournament. Caleb was not able to make it to the tournament today, so this is just me and Dillon talking. We got back very, very late. We're recording right after the tournament, after we get back, like 1 o'clock in the morning. And so it'll just be me and Dillon on this interview. But I did want to take and try to get our thoughts as fresh as possible. That was the biggest reason I wanted to record tonight. So the total tournament was 6 rounds of Swiss and then cut to top 8.
Yep.
Okay. And then first, second, and third each get sneak peek play mats as well as the return to organized play trophy.
Yep.
So we each went in with a little bit different philosophies. I went in with the Zodiac Tri Brigade, a list similar to Raphael Nevin's list from the YCS, but with my own little techs here and there. And you went in with what?
I went with Drytron. I think it's the best deck. I know not everybody thinks that, but I think it's the best deck.
I think you're wrong, but that's okay.
Yeah, that's okay.
That's okay. The results today would say that I am wrong. So. I think top 8 today. I don't have exact numbers, but I know there was 3 Drytron. I know
was there any Tri-Brigade?
Yeah. There was, I think, 2 Tri-Brigade. I think it was 3 Drytron, 2 Tri-Brigade, 1 Prank Kids, 1 Phantom Knights.
3 Drytron and 2 Tri-Brigade?
I think so. And then 1 Phantom Knights, 1 Prank. Either 1 or 2 Prank Kids.
Yeah. Yeah, the Phantom Knights guy got me.
Right.
Got me.
In Swiss, right?
Yeah, it's Swiss.
Okay, so you lost to Phantom Knights in Swiss, and then your top cut, you went to top 8, and what happened there?
They just, top 8.
Yeah, what you lost in top 8.
Yeah, I lost in top 8 to Prank Kids. Game 1, he had it. And in game 2, I actually just really punted that game hard. I don't know why, but I opened up like perfect. Instant Fusion, Pot of Prosperity, and 1 Drytron name.
Right.
And I proceed to pot before I activate
Instant
Fusion.
Right.
So, yeah, it was
Instant Fusion, the thing that's there literally to be a hand trap negator. Crazy.
Literally to
Called
be
by
the
the
other
grave.
Called by the Grave. Doesn't
Yeah.
use it. So, that happened.
You know what, though? It happens to the best of us. At least your day was a whole heck of a lot better than mine.
Yeah, I'm still getting half a box, so.
Yeah, there you go. I did not do as well. I won round 1 against Prank Kids and then proceeded to get stomped on for the rest of the day. I had losses to Drytron, which that guy ended up getting second overall, so I don't feel bad about that one. I had a really bad misplay that maybe changes the outcome of that game, but you live and you learn. It just, you move on from it. Round 3, I lost to Plunder Patrol of all things. I had no idea what was going on.
I played that dude last weekend at the tournament.
You played him today?
Yeah, I played him today too. But since I played him at the tournament in wrestling, he wasn't getting me at all this time.
Right.
So I didn't know what the deck did, and I learned. But I still got it then too. But
yeah, but on top of that, I also bricked.
Oh.
I didn't have a starter game 1, and we had a 20-minute game 1.
I mean, dude, the reason he won one game last weekend for me was because he opened Anti-Spell Rivalry, and I was like, oh,
all right.
Okay.
Yeah.
I cannot play.
Yeah, it was pretty rough. I mean, I literally opened no hand traps or interruptions and no starter. It was like I was going second, and I opened like IO, Called By, 1 Nerval, a Strike. Like just cards that are great when you go first.
Yeah.
But realistically, I didn't have a whole much of a shot there. Round 4, I played against Dragon Link and I tied, which I don't know. I feel like blame's to be shared on both sides there. I beat him game 1 pretty handedly, pretty quickly, in about 15 minutes. We had 25 minutes left on the clock going into game 2. And we kind of went into a grind game, and then all of a sudden it was like everything just slowed down significantly. Like I was trying to play at a good pace, but it just seemed like every time I looked over at the clock, it was like 3 more minutes were gone, 4 more minutes were gone, Yeah. And then I'm ahead in life by 600 heading into the final turn, and I get the turn back with like a minute left, and there's just not really a good way for me to advance the game state. And then like he starts doing a couple of things on my turn with Hermetic Seal bounces and summons. I'm trying to ask him what's going on, and he's like rushing me all of a sudden because it's my turn, and he wants to get to my turn, but that way he wants to get back to his turn. That way he can do 600 more damage. But
yeah, that was the craziest thing for me actually. That's like I personally have really bad anxiety,
right.
And so I was playing against the Family guy, and he's a cool guy. I'm not trying to say anything against him, but
when somebody rushes you like
yeah,
that,
no,
it puts the it really puts the nails on. Like,
well, no, it's not. You know, the thing was, it's like with mine, it was more of we're at 31 minutes when he told me to hurry up. And it's like, bro, I took 5 minutes on my turn. You took 4 minutes on your turn. You have a Dragoon and an anti-spell up. I'm trying to figure out how to play through this.
Right.
You know?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. And it just put the tilt on for me a little bit. Not because I was angry at him, but just because I had my anxiety came on and started to spiral. So.
Right. Yeah. Dude, somebody just starts like, come on. Like literally saying, come on. Come on. Hurry up and do your turn.
Yeah.
Like that, it really tightens the screws on me and really cranks up the anxiety. That was the only time today that I felt actually anxious. Normally I get pretty bad tournament anxiety.
Yeah.
But I will say the one big improvement today to come from today was I was able to sit down at table 1 for the first time since I've ever started playing Yu-Gi-Oh! And this is the most competitive I've ever been in the game. But to sit down at table 1 today, I mean at my first round, and just go to shuffling and playing, talking to my opponent, and go to start my turn, and my hands were not physically shaking, which might sound kind of wild to like some people listening. Like if you're really competitive and you go to like a lot of events,
I think. Just to say, I don't mean to cut you off.
No,
but that's a very common thing. Like people like starting out going to tournaments like this. I promise you, even if they say they're not, they were just a little bit. I promise you. Like,
right.
They were just a little bit nervous.
Yeah, it's crazy for me to think like how much more comfortable I've gotten playing the game.
Yeah.
So, that was round 4. Round 5, I played against Strikers. I beat him in game 1, and he was like, honestly, dude, I just tried to drop last round, and they didn't drop me. So he said, do you want to? He's like, I'm just gonna sign the match slip, and you got it, and we'll just choose some trading. I'm like, all right, I like trading. That's cool.
It's fun,
dude. Last round, I played against Paleo Frog. We're both 2-2-1. Game 1, I opened Ghost Bell, or hold on, I'll say it like this: Droplet, Ghost Bell, Droplet, Solemn Strike, Droplet. 3 Droplet against Paleo Frog, and I was going first.
So, in my opinion, Droplet sounds pretty good against Paleo Frog.
Not in triplicate with no starters.
Because you could chain block every single one they traps.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's true. The problem is they have to have monsters on board.
That's true, so they have to have the monsters first.
Right.
Yeah.
And when you're going first, what do? And then you go second, and it's like, okay, I feel like I sided adequately here.
Yeah.
I open Ash, Imperm, Harpy's Feather Duster, Nerval. He goes first. The first thing he does? No, he goes second. I literally just set Imperm pass. I'm like, well, at least I have the Duster for the crackback. You know, he's playing Paleo 4. He's going to like set 5. You know what does he do? Activate Numeron Network. Numeron calling. Make 3 of the 1,000 guys. Hit me for 3K. Go into Megaclops. How do I have to have a Zodiac in hand out Megaclops?
Yeah.
It's literally the only thing I can do. I did not win that match.
I don't expect you to at this point.
Yeah, it was bad. Ooh, excuse me. So, what are your takeaways from this tournament? Because I know that we had different experiences, but I do know that we probably have some similar takeaways because we were still playing in the same environment.
I can tell you one. Look, I know everybody likes to go outside after their rounds. I vape. So, but dude, if they smoking cigarettes, I'm not staying near them again, bro, because I can't get this smell out my nose. But no, I'm serious.
You gotta find out where to stand. You gotta stand upwind.
You gotta just not go in that group and just move.
Yeah. Just stand at the next.
Talk to you inside.
Yeah.
But no.
I think there's that group or like 2 groups at every locals. Yeah. After every round, they go outside and they catch either a cigarette or they vape or something. Like at every locals.
Yeah. But no, on a serious note though, I think my biggest takeaway was how open the format really is.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
But you know what? I don't know that's entirely true because I really think that we're in a place where a lot of different decks can compete. And I think as long as the master rules are set up the way they are, that will mostly be true unless there's just an overpowering deck. But in this exact format, I think there's 3 decks that are just far and away the best decks. They're all 3 tier 1. And everything after that is tier 2. But the thing is, right now tier 2 is still playable and competitive.
Yeah. By the way, sorry about my sniffling right now.
Oh, dude, it's allergy season. It gets to the best
it's
of
been destroying me.
It's all right. If for those that don't know, we're in Louisiana. We're not in a place where there's no allergens or anything in the air. All we have is just nonstop trees and stuff.
Pollen
just everywhere.
If you walk outside and your car has been under a tree for a little bit and it's just covered in yellow.
Yeah. Cars just like up north, people just deal with snow for months out of the year. We deal with 9 months of pollen a year. So, but I do think that there's 3 decks that are just better right now. I think that's Drytron, Tri Brigade, and Prank Kids. And I don't really know that you can debate it.
Yeah, no, it's those are obviously the top 3. Unfortunately, there isn't a control deck to take over the Prank Kids spot right now. Like I said before, I personally think Drytron's just the best deck. It has the biggest advantage engine. This deck goes +5 on first turn.
Right.
It's ridiculous, and I could do everything again next turn.
Right.
Yeah.
The issue to me with Drytron is, and I know you and I have talked about this extensively, but the Drytron's issues are not even 100% the deck itself. Drytron's issues a lot of times are, sure, the deck has a certain amount of brickiness to it, which I think a lot of that can be alleviated in deck building, especially when you're looking at a deck where we just recorded your deck profile, and I just happen to remember the numbers. You're running a 42 card main deck.
Mm-hmm.
In that main deck, you're running basically 17 names because you're running 11 Drytron monsters. You're running 3 Nova, 3 Emergency. And then you're running 3 Prosperity, 2 to help you dig for more. That's essentially 20 out of 42 cards that are for names or digging for names. Whereas you have other people that are not running Prosperities and, they're going to cut a couple of the names out here and there and, maybe cut down this card and that card, try to fit in a Dragoon package, and they're just not playing optimal builds of the deck. I think if you're playing an optimal build of the Drytron deck, that's your first fix. That's how you fix the brickiness.
Yeah, it's just harder because you don't have people don't like to. I don't mean to cut you off.
No, you're right.
Cut into your thing. It's just like I said in the deck profile. It's dude, there's no reason to plan for a losing game set. You're literally they're putting Dragoon Engine in there because if they get drolled, and it's but what if they don't droll you?
And now you've bricked.
Now you drew a Red Eyes in your hand, and now you got to make a Dragoon instead of a Masquerena, and the Herald of the Ultimateness is already a discard, negate anything. Plus special summon, negate special summons also.
Right.
And it's that's kind of redundant, and it doesn't really make sense. It loses to the same thing. At least with Masquerena, the board's more versatile,
Right. So that's the first thing is the deck building. You can solve some of the issues with the deck in the deck building process. The second issue with the deck comes in with the sideboard against the deck. So Nibiru's, which I know you say Nibiru's not an issue because the good Drytron players play around Nibiru, but that's the third issue and we're going to get there along. Nibiru does hit the deck if you know where to do it. If the deck is already in an awkward position through something like a droll, Nibiru can be brutal.
Majority of my hands, so it's got to be combined with something. I completely agree with that specifically. If it's combined with something, yes, it can be brutal. But a majority of my hands, I can do Orange Light Eva. I can literally just search that and begin my combo, and then just do my combo still.
Right.
And just have the orange light Eva or orange light whatever fairy I drew.
Right. But the bigger problem card is Droll, right?
So it depends. You can play around it. I actually only got Drolled once today. Actually, I got Drolled twice.
No wonder you got top 8. You only got Drolled twice all day.
Well, the ones, dude, every hand trap that I had the answer for every hand trap because I just search orange light at the beginning of your combo. What do you mean?
No wonder. You're just better.
Every hand trap today, pretty much, except for Imperm, got orange lighted because that's what I search it.
Jeez. This dude.
I mean, that's what I'm saying though. It's like
Right.
if you can play the deck. Sometimes you can't do that. Sometimes there are times where you cannot do that. But like a majority of the time you can. You can just search the orange light at the beginning of your combo.
That's when you activate Instant Fusion.
Oh yeah, or
Or you just open with Instant Fusion.
and just not use it.
Yeah, and just don't use Instant Fusion.
Yeah, no, you just don't.
But that brings me to the third point about the deck. The deck is really difficult to pilot optimally.
Oh yeah.
I mean, a 4 or 5 minute turn is a pretty good pace.
Yeah, no. I play. I could like if it wasn't for the fact that I have to ask okay every time.
Right.
I could probably just build the board in 2 minutes.
Right.
Yeah.
It's interesting to me to see a player that doesn't know how to make an optimal board is going to struggle to end on the Beatrice, Masquerena, Link Karibo, and Herald of Ultimateness.
Mm-hmm.
And that sounds like the basic board, because it is. That's
That's
like your
the best
standard
board.
board. That's the standard best board.
Yeah.
But a player that's not playing optimally, especially through hand traps, you can do that through multiple hand traps.
Yeah.
A player that does not know how to play the deck optimally is not going to be able to do that.
I'll tell you what it really takes a skill though, is going second with the deck. That's where like it really kind of
Right.
decides who's actually good with the deck and who's not. Because then you're playing like with understanding of what resources you can just throw out there first.
Right.
And like it's a lot different. That's why I love about the deck though, is there's so many different avenues you can take going second and just play through anything. But you have to know how to play the deck to do it.
So, would you say that... is there any particular matchup that you think the deck like super struggles against?
If you want to be honest with you, I really feel like it's Phantom Knights. I know that sounds dumb, but like Phantom Knights just don't have a central focus point. They just kind of like have this one line of play, and they just after that one line of play, they just play.
Yeah.
They just keep playing, and it's like against most decks, you just crack their board, make your board, and win. But not that deck. They just keep going.
Yeah. That's
Like,
the cool part about that deck, though, is the recursiveness, right?
Yeah, no, it's ridiculous. And then they can side anti-spell and stuff, and anti-spell Dragoon is really sucky. But yeah.
So the next deck of the format, that's a lot about Dry Talk. The next deck of the format to talk about is Tri Brigade. This is a deck that you see a couple of different lists. You see the Rescue Cat list with the Psyframe Gear package, the Gamma package, things like that. Maybe not running the Zodiacs. I think it's pretty well accepted now that that's probably not the best build of the deck.
I definitely think Raphael Nevin has the best list for the deck.
Yeah, I don't agree with absolutely everything in the list. Of course, I really think that the things I don't agree with, that is a regional difference. It makes a lot more sense in the EU, for example, to be playing more Phantasmes, because it's my understanding from talks with European players like Tatsum that the EU is more combo-centric and more combo-heavy, whereas North America is a little bit more control-oriented. And because of that combo over there, it makes Phantasme a better card.
I always heard that the U.S. was more combo.
That was what I've always heard too. But in talks that I've had with European players, the consensus over there is that combo is more prevalent. I mean, when you look at the lists that top over there, I mean, they had, I think, 13 of the top 32 was Tri-Brigade. You have Madolche getting top 4, and that's combo. You have more Drytron got top over there. I mean, you don't see much control.
Yeah.
So, but the other thing that is interesting to me is that Nevin's list is still running the Zodiac package, even though there's no Trident. And obviously, the Zoos are still versatile without Trident because you can still either do Barrage into Thoroughblade and go into like a Zeus play, or you can go Rapier, dump Thoroughblade, and go to Chakanine, and then go into Ferrigite and just and it gets you into your Tri-Brigade engine.
This is something I learned though. Is like when they played the Zodiac package.
Yeah.
Ghost Spell in the main. Like I played 2 Ghost Spell in my main deck. Playing testing against you actually made me realize
good against Chakanine.
Like, if you can't make Ferrigite with that one normal summon, like you have to have Karez.
You have to have insane extenders in your hand.
You have to have extenders in your hand. Yeah, no, you have to have a Karez plus like a Beast Warrior. And I mean that's not that hard, but it puts you on having the 2-card combo, which is something that you usually search. So
right, yeah. If you don't hard open Karis plus a Tri-Beast, it can be pretty brutal if that gets shut down. Which I had one point today where that exact play happened, and I happened to have the Karis.
Did Patty
extender.
do it?
Because
I was literally talking to him about it before the tournament.
No, I don't think it was.
Okay.
I think it was somebody else.
Sorry, I was the
Now I'm trying to decide if it was. Now I'm trying to remember if it was or not. But I had the extender in hand.
I was say I'm sorry if I brought that upon you.
No, it's okay. But I did have the extender in hand. I had the Karis plus the extra name.
Yeah.
No, it happened twice, because one time today I didn't have it. And I just passed on a Chakanine.
Yeah.
And the other time I did have it. But it's fine. It happens. I think that the Zodiac package is the better version.
Yeah, I mean, Zeus, more streamlined. It does what it's supposed to do. That's all you need to do.
Right. So, the third deck of the format is... Oh, and for everybody playing the Tri-Brigade deck, don't play Zephyros. The card sucks.
That's one of those things where it's like... We've come to a point in Yu-Gi-Oh! Where I like Zephyros. But the thing is, I like Zephyros in decks that get to Zephyros.
Right.
Not decks that rely on just drawing it randomly.
Yeah, it sucks.
I was playing Zephyros in Lunalight Orcus, but you would send Zephyros from the deck.
Right. Maybe if you have Foolish in your deck.
Yeah, I mean, if you have Foolish, it's a little bit different because it gives you options with Foolish. But still, I don't know. It's just like, unless you're super hard doing that play that Trevor does with the Omen first turn.
Right. But you have to run 3 Omen, basically.
Yeah, you have to run 3 Omen to do that. Which I think it's probably just best to go with like the Streamline build and just do what the deck does.
Right. I think I agree. After I've played the deck a lot, I might try out the Foolish Burial thing now that I think about it. But after playing the deck like a bunch, I really do think that Zephyros sucks. The next deck to talk about is obviously Prank Kids. So, Prank Kids is really interesting to me because the engine itself is good, I guess. Being able to nuke your field is cool.
Yeah.
It's got a strong Tri-Brigade matchup, but let's be honest here. The real advantage to Prank Kids is you can run like 15 hand traps.
Let's be real here. It's Abyss Dweller.
Abyss Dweller also pretty good.
Yeah, Abyss Dwellers.
Oh, they can hard make Abyss Dweller or hard make Totally Awesome.
Yeah. No, Abyss Dweller's ridiculous. Like
Totally Awesome, pretty good too.
Yeah,
Abyss Dweller,
I don't know, man.
Abyss Dweller's brutal.
I think Abyss Dweller's just on a different level.
Yeah, Toad just Dude, I had somebody make 3 toads on me in one game earlier today. Listen, I've had a day.
3 toads.
I played against Paleo Frog.
Oh, they made it in one turn? Or no, there's no way.
No, one game.
Oh, but that's
No. It was like a back and forth game, like game 1. But it will. The thing with prank kids, like, yeah, sure, Dweller's awesome and Dweller's killer. But, like, how do I say it? The deck can play 15 hand traps.
Yeah.
I mean, the deck plays 15 starters, 16 if you run Terraforming. And then you play a few extenders, and then the rest is just hand traps.
Yeah.
15 to 18 hand traps. I mean, when you have a deck that can run 3 Ash, 3 Droll, 3 Ghost Bell, 3 Twister, just whatever you want.
Yeah.
In the main, and then sideboard even heavier. I will not ever again say a deck is easy to play. But the versatility that you get having such a strong sideboard and the ability to side against everything cannot be understated. It makes a difference.
Yeah.
It's a strong defensive deck. It's not control, but it plays in a defensive
manner. The only thing I don't like about Drivetron is it's so hard to side. Like, I've literally come up with the formula. It has to be 5 or 6.
Right.
It has to be. It can't be more. It can't be less. Unless you take out other hand traps. It's like that are good in the matchup.
Right. But those are definitely the 3 best decks of the format.
Yeah, no, for sure.
Yeah. I mean, you have other decks that are competitive, like we mentioned. You have the Phantom Knights, which we've very clearly seen multiple weekends in a row. Like, that deck is competitive if you know what's going on.
Yeah, and with the F-Zero, you top up Future Dragon. I feel like we're going to find when people explore that deck more, it's going to come up.
I heard the guy that was playing Phantom Knights, he played it this weekend and he played it last weekend at a tournament. We went to both of them.
Yep.
Somebody asked him about the Utopic F-Zero Draco Future, and he said he won't play it because it just plays way too hard into Nibiru. I
mean, that kind of already does that, like, anyway.
He seemed to have it figured out how to play around it.
They can play through it. They can't play around it.
Oh, okay. I see.
Like, I mean, you can literally just wait until they put Verte on board and then Nibiru.
Right.
Oh, were you telling me to continue?
Yeah, it's okay.
My bad. I'm bad. I'm tired, dude.
I mean, I understand. It's 1:30 in the morning.
But no, he can just play through it. You can legit just wait till they just do everything until they put Verte on board, and then you gotta do it then.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah.
I just have maybe I'm just playing against the deck wrong, and I'm just activating hand traps at the wrong times, but that's such a hard time against the deck.
My experience with the deck has pretty soundly been strike Rusty. If you strike Rusty, it's pretty rough.
Oh yeah, I believe it. I mean, the card can't be brought back with the Fog Blades anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, what are some other decks that you think might be super competitive this format?
Virtual Worlds seemed good. The guy I played against, he didn't make this craziest board. He made a M7, getting back like a GG. He used GG that turn, so he got back Lulu already.
Shin-Chin?
He didn't make Shin-Chin. He made Crystal Wing, M7. That was it.
Oh, okay.
I potted, saw Imperm.
2-1 or 2-0?
2-0.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, Virtual World, what about Altergeist?
Oh, man. That was the scariest thing, dude. I saw across that dude, and he activated. So, for game 1, I didn't know he was playing. He just drew a bunch of hand traps with pots.
Wow.
And I was just like, okay, I don't know what the hell this dude's playing.
But you beat him.
I beat him. I beat him game 1. And then game 2, I figured I was playing Altergeist. I was like, yo, what is this? I was so scared. Because, like, I've been saying this for so long now, but Altergeist has like a very good position in the meta right now. It has so many ways to counter everything, and the decks can't do anything about it.
Right.
And like we had the Tournament of Champions in Mendenhall, and like I was telling Sonny like 2 weeks before the Tournament of Champions, like, dude, if I had Altergeist, I'd bring that there. And because it's just, like I said, it has such a good matchup against everything.
Yeah, I think that the more I think about it, I don't know the ins and outs of Altergeist. I don't know a ton about the matchup. But I do know that they have bounces, they have negates. I mean, they theoretically have great matchups against Prank Kids, against Drytron, against Tri-Brigade. I mean, that's pretty good.
They're a very versatile control deck. They can play the floodgatey style and the also like interruption style play of a control deck. They can do both of those very well.
Right.
And they build advantage in a very strange way.
Yeah. So I'm trying to think. There was something else I wanted to ask you about today, and good Lord, I can't remember what it was. It is so late.
Yeah.
Was there anything else in particular that you wanted to talk about? What I want to talk about is our sponsor, ETB Games.
Oh. Yeah.
And I say our because ETB Games not only sponsors the podcast, ETB Games also
sponsors Team Darkharm Dillon. Well, not necessarily all of it. It sponsors me and Trevor.
That's it.
Yeah.
So, everybody, be sure to check out ETB Games. There's a link to their website in our description below. Anybody in the Texas, Louisiana, Mississippi, Arkansas region, if you want to come, we do events every month. You can always feel free to ask me in our Discord or our Twitter about those events. They are very centrally located in Louisiana. Like I've said, they're basically 3 to 4 hours from anything. So no matter where you live, you can get there easily. The other thing is, I wanted to say, please, everybody, please join our Discord server. You can get all those information, all those updates, and talk to us and duel with us and everything in our server.
Yeah.
Takeaways from today.
Takeaways from the day.
My takeaway is I'm fixing to grind harder than a skateboard at the X Games.
My takeaway is Drytron's best deck.
I don't know, man. I think Drytron has... No, like, okay. All right, you know what? Let's do this.
My takeaway is...
I think Drytron has the highest power ceiling. It is also the highest skill ceiling deck. You have to play it optimally.
Yeah.
And that makes the deck really difficult.
Yeah.
The reason that Tri-Brigade is, in my opinion, the best deck of the format. Okay. I see the face you're making.
But if the deck is played optimally...
The issue is that... Okay. We went over these issues. Yes. Issues can be solved in deck building as well as gameplay.
Yeah.
But the deck... Even though you can try to solve the brickiness by playing 17 or 20 out of 42 cards as non-brick cards, even if you want to have, no matter what you do, you always brick. You still brick sometimes because you need multiple names to get going.
For anybody that doesn't know, this conversation between me and Sonny is like a...
It has been going on for weeks.
It's been going on. I understand that Tri-Brigade does better than Drytron in tournaments. I get it. I just don't.
Whoa. Let's cut half of that sentence. Tri-Brigade is better than Drytron.
No.
That's what you said.
I understand that Tri-Brigade does better than Drytron in tournaments because the representation is probably higher. Also, like you said, it is an easier deck to play. Not saying it's a helmet deck. I'm saying that, yes, it is less... It's harder to misplay with the deck. But
you know what I think the real reason that it shows up more in tournaments?
What's that?
I think that the deck is as good and high power level as Drytron is. Tri-Brigade is more consistent. I think it's really hard to argue that. I'm not saying Drytron is inconsistent. I'm saying Tri-Brigade is very consistent.
I think if it wasn't for Appaloosa, Tri Brigade wouldn't win a tournament.
Okay, if Appaloosa didn't exist, if Tri Brigade Revolt didn't exist,
Yeah.
if Bearbrom didn't, I mean,
Well,
if all these cards didn't exist, you're right, the deck would be bad.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. I'm just saying, like, I think Appaloosa is just a really good card right now. Backed
yeah,
up,
it absolutely is.
with
Yeah.
traps, and the deck makes it really consistent. I think the consistency of being able to make Appaloosa is what makes that deck good.
Yeah.
But I also think that Drytron can do that better. Like, I don't think I actually bricked once today. I think I made Herald of Arclight once.
Okay, but what I'm saying is, over the course of 7 rounds, you didn't really break.
Yeah.
But when you get into a bigger YCS level tournament where you're playing 11 rounds of Swiss plus 5 rounds in Top Cut, potentially, I mean, when you're playing 15 and 16 rounds, the inconsistencies of Drytron will appear multiple times. You're talking about twice as many rounds as you played today, potentially. So if you make top 32, you're talking about potentially twice as many rounds as what was played today. You know.
I mean, I get it. That's true, but that can happen it happens with any deck.
And the representation numbers for Tri Brigade are higher, which is the other reason that Tri Brigade shows out in force and tops tournaments.
Of course.
You
But,
know.
like, of course, the thing is, that one issue is going to happen with every deck. Even Orcus bricked. Like, it's ridiculous to think about because they played, like, 6 one-card starters.
Right.
Like, 1-card starters. Like, 3 Math, Armageddon Knight, Greffer, Rhoda.
Was Foolish Barrel, did that do it?
Foolish Burial was not a starter, actually. It didn't do the full combo.
It's kind of an extender. It could get you going on the path, but you needed more to make it really actually
You need another body.
Yeah?
Yeah, you just need another body with it.
Fair enough. I wasn't playing at the time, so I don't know exactly how Orcus worked.
But, like, even that deck bricked, that deck lost to Lancia. Like, it didn't lose to it. It would just pass turn. Like, he couldn't do anything through Lancia.
Right.
And, like, even at that, it was still, like, insane. You know, like, it bricked, it lost to a hand trap in the side deck, and I didn't necessarily lose, but it turn skipped from a hand trap. And it was still, like, eventually the best deck in the format.
Right.
You know, and I don't think...
Once it got figured out.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't think... I get what you're saying. I don't know if that really...
Yeah, I think over the course of 12 to 15 rounds, the consistency is just... It can't be understated.
I think the thing is, every deck's have consistency issues. But
yes, to an extent. It also cannot be understated that, yes, it absolutely takes skillful play to play Yu-Gi-Oh! But it is pretty helpful to have... you got to be lucky. There's a certain measure of luck that comes into, I just happen to have call by this game. No, and I'm not saying that Yu-Gi-Oh! Is luck-based. It's 100% a skill-based game, in my opinion. A player that's incredibly skillful, multiple YCS tops, is going to beat a player like me probably like 90 to plus % of the time. But, like, to talk about going through, like, 16 rounds, like, there's a certain amount of luck involved. A non-zero amount.
yeah, I think when you look at that side of the thing, I've come up with this whole, like, theorem, or whatever you want to call a theory, about, like... Theorio. About, like, how competitiveness and skill translates into this game. And really, when you think about it, it's about how much variance there is versus how many... Like, just random variance versus how much you control that goes on. Like, how many games do you just lose to variance versus, like, things that you could have controlled?
Right.
And a lot of the reasons that come up are things that you could have controlled versus just variance.
Yeah.
You know? And it's so much more that it's really hard to say that it's a luck-based game.
I'm not. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I'm not saying it's luck based. I think it's very much a skill based game. I think it. I think to say that it's a luck based game is an ignorant statement, and I don't mean that to demean anybody. I absolutely don't. But I think anybody who thinks that it's a luck based game needs to sit down, take a step back, look at it, look at how much effort goes into playing the game at a high level, and really reevaluate, because the game is so skill intensive, more so than most hobbies.
Yeah.
I mean, it takes hundreds of hours of gameplay, realistically, to get to like an adequate skill level to where you can understand what's going on a lot of the time. And that's not even to talk about understanding the meta, making good meta calls, and this, that, and the other. That's just like to play the game and understand how the rules work.
Yeah, it definitely takes a long time to get used to this kind of stuff. Or to become good at the game. It took me a long time. Some people don't take it long. But I've been playing since 2015. I didn't get my first top till like 2019.
Right. Yeah, everybody knows our story by now. We stopped in 2014 and started up again in 2020, I guess. Yeah. So we stopped in 2014 and we started up again right after organized play had been shut down, which is crazy to think about. Every person that I've told, we came back after they shut down organized play, like, why would you do that?
Yeah, why are you coming back now?
Yeah, it was. I'm not going to say it was a mistake. A lot of good has come. We've got this podcast. We've made a ton of friends. It's really been a wonderful, a blessing for me. But yeah.
Yeah, no, it's kind of crazy.
This is like my first taste of like real.
I think you got, because I had got the game when the crush card happened.
Right.
And then I got back in because I was in Magic while crush card was going, because Arena was like amazing. But I got back in right around the time that you got back in.
I got back in before Rise of the Duelist came out.
Okay, so you got back in like way before me.
Toon Chaos.
Yeah, you still got back in way before me.
Yeah. Toon Chaos is when I got back in.
Yeah, I'm so unhappy.
That was the newest set at the time.
I'm so unhappy I missed that set.
Toon Chaos?
Yes.
Toon Chaos wasn't bad.
It was sold out when I started playing the game again.
Yeah. Yeah. That was because that was when they introduced collector's rares and everybody was freaking out.
Yeah.
So, but okay, well, you know what? I was about to say the set wasn't that impactful, but it gave us the first big wave of that and Rise of the Duelist, which came out like a month apart from each other, gave us the entire Infernoble Knight package, basically. And we were able to... That's when, Infernoble Knights went tier 1.
Yeah.
So...
I think I might have messed up the audio somewhere right there when I was getting up to get one of those over there.
That happens.
I just let you know ahead of time.
That's all right. Well, I think that'll do it, though, for today's interview. Unless you have anything else you want to add in there, Dylan?
I'm really tired. Shout out Team Dark Arm Dealings. Shout out Trevor. Wish you could have came, brother, but we know.
Yeah, every episode when I shout out our sister channel on YouTube, Team Dark Arm Dealings, this is who I'm talking about. Dillon is one of the main creators on that channel. They are another group of creators at our locals, and we try to work together.
We're really just like me and
we're like one
friends.
big locals family, and we just happen to start multiple platforms at the same time.
Show you what we plan, what we getting successful with, and show you what other people are getting successful with at the tournaments we go to. So that's really all it is right now.
All right. Well, Dylan, thank you for coming on. Thanks for telling us about your top 8 experience today. And everybody, have a good night or day, whatever. I don't know. Whenever you listen, have a good one of those.
Right now, I don't know. I just want to go to sleep.
All right, night.
Night.
All right. Well, thank you again so much to Dylan for coming on this evening. We're glad that we were able to record, get that insight. We're glad we were able to hear all about the Dawn of Majesty sneak peek event as well as the tournament results. It's really insightful to get meta analysis from players that are like playing constantly. So,
Oh yeah. My favorite part is that one part with the thing and where he talks about the thing.
yes, the part with the things and the place and the people. You can't
Yeah,
forget about that.
yeah. With that Yu-Gi-Oh card.
Right.
He's-
I'm
he-
so glad that all three of us were there for that interview.
oh yeah, absolutely.
So, thank you again, everyone, for listening. Thank you all so much for hanging out with us today. We want to ask you that we're gonna run through a series of things we ask of you, our listeners. Please be sure to follow us on Twitter at Top Cut Podcast, and please be sure to join our Discord. We are in here every day, all day long. We're always talking with people. There's no special, you have to be a Patreon. No, nothing like that. Just come in and talk to us, hang out with us. I am, after the results of that tournament, I am really looking to grind a lot more and get better at the game. So I'm always looking for remote duels. We're always available, and we're building a very fun, great little community. So, and thank you to all the people that have already joined. It means the world to us to be able to just come in and have fun. We also ask that you be sure, if you're on Apple Podcasts, to leave us a rating and a review. It helps our numbers a lot. It really means a lot to us. Thank you again to our sponsor, ETB Games. They help us out a ton. It means a lot that we can both help out our local shop as well as we can get more people to shop there, and it gives us the ability to do a little bit more inside of this game that we love. So thank you again to them. Caleb, was there anything else that I missed?
Nope, you pretty much got everything down pretty good.
Dang, I'm good like that.
Oh yeah.
Well, thank you again. Everybody, have a wonderful afternoon, and we hope that you enjoyed this episode.
Take care, everybody.